Hi guys, and welcome to Prenatal Yoga with me. My name is Leeron, and I will be guiding you through this 45 to 50 minute practice. And all you really need to get started is what I would normally say is a bolster, 2 blocks, and a blanket. Now, seeing that we're at home and you may not have all of these things, then I recommend either a nice thick pillow or 2, a blanket, whatever you have available, or a towel would work great. And then if you have blocks, go ahead and grab 2. If you don't, even something like a step stool would work great, or a few books stacked just to have in case you need it. Otherwise, you can leave the blocks aside, your choice. So with that, just find a nice comfortable seat. I recommend using the blanket underneath the sit bones just to give yourself a little bit of height and comfort. Feel the spine lengthen up, close the eyes, let the shoulders roll back and down, notice your breath. Take a deep inhale, sigh out the mouth. Again, inhaling deep through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Continue like that, noticing with each exhale as the shoulders relax down. Notice the tension melt away from the limbs as you exhale. Notice your brow getting soft, your jaw relaxing. And any thoughts that you have built up from your day, built up from your evening, whatever they may be, can you allow each exhale to gently release them? Keep finding height through the spine, letting the pillows underneath the sit bones support you and lift you up. And as you take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose or mouth, your choice, at the bottom of that exhale, can you count to yourself 10? Taking another deep inhale. And with your next exhale, counting 9. Inhaling deep, feeling the heart, the belly. Exhaling slowly, counting 8 at the bottom. Inhaling once again. Exhaling. 7. Inhale. Exhale. 6. Inhaling deep. Exhaling. 5. Letting everything melt away. Inhaling. Exhaling. 4. Feeling more at ease and at peace. Inhaling. Exhaling. 3. Exhaling. 2. Inhaling. Exhaling. 1. And take a deep inhale and feel all that breath fill up the body. A nice long exhale through the mouth, settling you into this space, settling into this practice as you gently blink open the eyes, bring yourself back into your body, into the awareness of your space. And you can gently remove the pillow bolster from underneath you and set it aside. Switch the crossing of the ankles for comfort. And with your next inhale, draw that heart forward. And as you exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Just like that, we'll begin these gentle Sufi rolls, getting into the hips, into the joints, into the spine. When we are pregnant, we tend to feel a lot of those aches and pains around the hip joints, around the lower back, some of us in the upper back, maybe in the shoulders. So these Sufi rolls are incredibly great, really as a way to lubricate the hips and bring some life into the spine, awakening that spinal energy. The heart draws forward, reverse the circle. Inhales, bring the heart forward. Nice soft exhales, round the spine back. Just imagining all of the tension crack open, float away as you're bringing more energy into the spine, some relief into the hips. And slowly making your way back to a nice seated position, inhaling as you lift the shoulders up and roll them back on the exhale. Feeling that heart open up. Keeping the jaw soft. Keeping the spine tall. And then release the shoulders down. Making sure you have space on either side of you so you can move everything aside. Bring the fingertips on either sides of the hips, keeping the spine nice and long. Inhale as you reach the arms overhead, let the fingertips kiss. And as you exhale, let the fingertips come back down. So as you are doing this, you're welcome to close the eyes or keep them open, up to you. But I do want you to begin to imagine yourself creating a safe space around you. So imagine the fingertips painting a nice circle all the way around your body. And as you're painting this circle, painting this space, this bubble, it's a reminder for you that you get to decide what comes into this bubble and what stays out. And right now, with so many uncertainties, it's even more important to strengthen this bubble, to feel empowered to say, no, I would rather not hear this birth story or that story about anything that might be happening, and only allow positive thoughts, positive stories, positive experiences, and positive energy into the space. Next time the fingertips reach up, pause, and with that next exhale, bringing those left fingertips forward, right fingertips back. Again, extending that circle all the way around you. The inhales bring the fingertips up, the exhales bring opposite fingers forward and back. Again, just painting the circle all the way around you. Imagine this bubble strengthening with each stroke of the hand. And if it's hard for you to visualize an actual bubble, you can just imagine a color expanding all the way around you, and that anything within this color is something that you get to decide comes in or stays out. Being mindful that if you're in your first trimester, that we really want to avoid any deep twists. Of course, throughout pregnancy, we don't want any deep twisting, but in the first trimester, we don't even really want much of any twisting. So if you are a mom in your first trimester, just keep that in mind, and instead of bringing the arms all the way around the body, you can just keep them right here. But otherwise, just a few more rounds on each side, creating this space all the way around, imagining this bubble growing stronger and stronger. And the next time that the arms reach up, pause there, extend the fingertips up, interlace the fingers except for the pointer finger. Feel the front of the neck lengthen, and as you exhale, release the hands all the way down. Shake it out. Maybe even round the spine forward and back, whatever feels good in your body. And then we're going to make our way all the way onto all fours. So this is when I recommend grabbing your blocks, placing the hands on top of the blocks. If you're comfortable without the blocks, you are welcome to not use them. But because we always want to keep baby's head pointing down, I always recommend giving a little bit of elevation. So you can use the blocks, or if you choose, you can even use the stool right here. And that's perfectly fine. You can move from here, but find what works for you and what's comfortable. So with the hands on the blocks or on the stools, shoulders over wrists, finding that nice long spine, hips over knees. As you inhale, you're going to draw the heart in between the shoulders, feeling the front of the neck lengthen, and as you exhale, gently round the spine, chin to chest. So cat-cows are one of the most essential poses that you can do in pregnancy. Not only is it really nice on the spine, but it's incredibly great to assist in bringing your baby into optimal birth position, so your baby can be gently nudged down, meaning head down, their back to your belly. The midwives recommend, I believe, about 50 of these a day, if not more. And then bring the spine to a flat, neutral spine. Take a deep inhale, side out. Bring the knees in slightly closer together, and then extend that right leg back behind you. The toes point down. Feel that right hip reaching down towards the earth, and the crown of the head is reaching forward. Find that breath. Lengthen the leg away from the crown of the head. And try not to let your baby drop your spine down, right? We don't want that compression in the lower back. We still want some strength through the spine. And then gently release that knee down. Sway the hips side to side. So in pregnancy, it's not about strengthening the core. It's more about maintaining the integrity of the core. If we're going to be sitting and doing crunches, then that can cause what's called diastasis recti, which is abdominal separation, which is something we really want to try and avoid in pregnancy. So working on things to help strengthen just the integrity of the core and support the spine is plenty during pregnancy. So the knees slightly closer together, extending that opposite leg back behind you, toes pressed down, hip presses down, crown of the head is reaching forward, lengthening opposite limbs. And again, notice if the belly is sort of dropping down. Gently press the spine to the sky and keep the neck out of the shoulders. Find your breath, take an inhale. And then exhale, release that knee down. Swaying the hip side to side. Really good to bring some of that primal energy into the body. And making your way back onto all fours. Neutral position, knees slightly closer together, extending that right leg back behind you, toes pressed down, just like we did before, pressing into the earth, into the blocks, and then this time leaning some of the weight into that right hand and extending that opposite arm out in front of you. So opposite leg, opposite arm, reaching away from each other, lengthening. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, set it down. Sway the hips once again, getting into the body. Always giving yourself permission to close the eyes if that feels good. And then bringing the knees slightly closer together, extend that left leg back behind you, toes pressed down, reaching that heel back, engage into the blocks, and then reach that right arm in front of you, handshake position. Again, opposite arm, opposite leg, extends and reaches. Inhale, press the spine up, and then exhale to set it down. And now we're going to move back and forth, balancing that cat. So inhale, lifts that right leg and left arm. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, set it down. Don't worry if you mixed up the arms and the legs. That's not important. But just moving opposite arm, opposite leg with each inhale and letting the exhale release it down. I encourage you to close the eyes if you feel balanced and to follow the rhythm of your breath. So using that inhale to guide the opposite arm and leg up and letting the exhale guide it back down. Keep going, one more each side. Again, don't worry about speed here. It's really about the length of your breath and following that. Once you've finished both sides, pause here for a moment. Take a deep inhale through the mouth, side out. Bring the knees wide, the toes touch, and gently rotate the hips all the way back onto the heels and drawing forward. Close the eyes, connect to that part of yourself that's intuitive, that has an inner knowing of what your body likes and how it likes to move. Pregnancy is all about connecting to that part of ourselves that most of us have disconnected from. Feeling connected to the rhythm of our body, feeling connected to the rhythm of our breath, feeling comfortable in our own skin, because I can guarantee you birth is all about being comfortable in your own skin. And the sooner we become comfortable, the less fear we'll have in the process. Slowly coming back onto all fours, bringing the knees back underneath the hips, bringing the blocks to their highest height. If you're using the stool, just use the height that it's at. And then taking that right foot and stepping it forward on the outside of that right block. So the heel can be on the mat, the toes can be off the mat, and then you can bring the stool or blocks a few inches forward. And as you inhale, draw the heart forward between the shoulders. And as you exhale, round back. Maybe the leg straightens, maybe not. You get to decide. So the inhales will draw the heart forward, leaning into that left hip, and then the exhales round back. So we always want to be mindful as we move here that we're not overextending in the front part of the abdomen. If you feel any sort of stretching there, then you've gone too far. We want to avoid any sort of overstretching in the abdominals because that, again, can lead to that abdominal separation. So always being mindful of how things feel in your body. As you inhale and draw the heart forward, pause here. Feel height through the crown of the head. Bring the hips slightly back so that the knee is directly over the ankle. Bring the blocks in. And then pigeon toe that right foot all the way off the mat. And then take that left block or take the stool and gently bring it farther out to the left. Lean into that block and then take that right arm up to the sky. Right, so we're going in for this nice big open twist. Again, first trimester mamas, instead of opening up all the way, just keep the arm out to the side. You'll still feel that strength through the midline, but you won't be feeling that same extension and open, and that's okay. Always being mindful in that first trimester. So reaching those fingertips up towards the sky. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, bring the hand back down onto the block. Bring everything back to center. You can wiggle that right foot in towards the block, towards the stool. Make sure you feel nice and rooted on that front foot. So knee over ankle, feeling nice and sturdy. That right hand comes onto that right thigh. Left arm reaches towards the sky. And then once you make sure you're feeling nice and steady, both arms can reach up. Inhale to lengthen up. And as you exhale, open the arms like goalposts. Lift through the heart. The inhales bring the palms to kiss overhead. The exhales open the heart. Inhale to let the arms reach. Exhale to open up through the heart. Inhale, palms kiss overhead. And then exhale, bring the hands down onto the blocks. Take the right foot And you can wiggle that foot all the way back. Give a few hip sways here. And then taking that left foot and stepping it forward, we're going to take those left toes slightly off the mat, heel stays on. And once again, gently rocking forward and back. So maybe that left leg straightens, maybe it doesn't, that's up to you. But as you move, can you let your inhales draw the heart forward and let the exhales round you back? This is really nice for the hips. If you've been feeling any of that achiness in the hips, any of that round ligament pain, this is a great way to sort of bring life back into the limbs. Next time that the knee draws forward, pause. Take that left foot all the way off the mat and take that right hand and block or stool and bring it slightly out to the right. This time sinking into that right arm and take the left arm up to the sky, opening up that twist. Again, first trimester mamas can stay here or with the arm out to the side like an airplane wing. Or wherever you are, can you find some length through the crown of the head? So feel the neck grow out of the shoulders. Take another inhale. And then exhale, bring that hand down onto the block or stool. Bring everything back to center. Hug that left foot in towards the block. And make sure that that knee is over the ankle. Feeling nice and steady. Take the left hand onto the thigh. Reaching the right arm up. And then the left arm joins. Feeling really strong and even in both legs. You don't want to feel everything just dumping into that right leg. You still want to feel the strength through that left leg, grounding you down through both. So the inhale lifts the arms up, and the exhales open you up, goalpost arms. Inhale, let the palms kiss overhead. Exhale, widening out. One more like that. Inhaling up. Exhale, open through the heart. Inhale, palms kiss. Exhale, hands come all the way down onto the blocks. Gently wiggle that left leg all the way back. A few hip circles here in one direction and in the opposite direction. One more time like that. Again, just massaging the hips. And coming back to center. Sitting back onto the heels. Make sure you're comfortable. If this is ever too much on the heels, you can always take your pillow and put it underneath the thighs, in between the calf and the thighs, or you can use a block if you have one and set it right in between the ankles and sit back on it like so. So you always have options. From here, you're going to inhale and come onto the knees and reaching that right arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, bringing it back down. Inhale, that right arm goes up, or left arm, excuse me. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale, swoop both arms all the way up. Exhale, goalpost arms like we did before. Inhale up, exhale down. So that's the movement. One arm at a time to lengthen, and then both arms up to reach. As you move, really imagine yourself allowing the legs to be your strength and your anchor, moving you up and down. So in a normal yoga class, you may engage more in the abs when you do this movement. But prenatally, we really want to focus on the lower body, lifting us up and moving us through the pose. So 2 more sets like that, finding length through the limbs as you move. Noticing the breath. So it doesn't have to look in any fancy way, but really just imagining your body lengthening through each limb as you go. And then really let the heart open. These heart openers are so great in pregnancy. They help alleviate indigestion and heartburn. So giving yourself a chance to open up through the chest and let things move through with ease. We could all use a little bit of ease these days. So from here, take a deep inhale. Sigh it out through the mouth. One more like that. And taking a pause for a moment, place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. So the thing about pregnancy, and really more so labor, is the things that help us birth our babies are not always the things that are the most comfortable. And a lot of it has to do with breath. Breath will help you birth your baby. So we're going to practice 3 breaths. And this is really just a horse's breath. So I will demonstrate and then you guys can do a few with me after. But the inhale is going to be in through the nose and then through pursed lips, just blow that air out. So we're going to do about 3 like that together. Take a deep inhale. Just like that. Inhaling deep. Two more. One last one. And then let your breath come back to normal, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, or inhaling through the mouth, exhaling through the mouth. You get to decide. And remembering that breath, and that's always an option for you to come to in your practice or in labor. It's a really good way to just release some of that tension that can build up. And of course, fear is always a big thing that sneaks up on us in pregnancy and in labor, and it's incredibly important to find your breath when you are dealing with those things. So hopefully that can be a nice tool to put in your toolkit. From here, making your way back onto the blocks or a stool, always an option. Tuck the toes under, pull the hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. Make sure that your feet are hips width apart or wider, depending on how tight your calves and hamstrings are. Pedal the legs back and forth a few times. Feel the hips reach back. And then bring your feet as wide as your mat if they aren't there already. And gently walk the hands off the blocks or stool towards the feet, bending the knees generously as you go. Hands come to the thighs as you roll up one vertebrae at a time. When you make your way all the way up, just take a moment and bring your hands onto your baby's home. And take a deep inhale. And sigh it out. Feel free to sway the hips here. And take a moment to connect. So in pregnancy, it's really great and wonderful to move your body and be physical and bring some of that life force energy into your body. But it's also incredibly important, at least in the way that I teach prenatal yoga, to also find these moments of connection. To take a moment to recognize that there is a little soul that is growing within you. That you are not just any mama. You are the mama that this soul has chosen to be theirs. And that's incredibly special. And knowing that as part of that journey, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if you are, quote unquote, the perfect mom or not. Your baby has chosen you for all of your imperfections, for all of your little nuances and quirks. You are the best mama for this soul. Take a deep inhale and acknowledging that incredibly beautiful thought. And with the exhale, soften through the shoulders like a waterfall, letting the breath fall out with ease. Inhaling again and sighing it out. from here, we're going to grab our blocks or stool and just place them out in front of you. So bring your feet wide on your mat and just make sure that your feet aren't wider than your hands width apart. And then starting with the hands on our hips, you can take the back toes, so in your case, the left toes in slightly, and then point the right toes out, coming into a warrior stance. So we're going to bend that front knee and just make sure you're not just leaning everything in. It's going to put way more weight on that front leg than you would prefer. So just make sure you keep that spine nice and long and tall. Don't worry about how deep this knee is bent. Just make sure the knee isn't going past the toe. So you just want to keep a nice deep bend as far as feels comfortable, and the spine is nice and long. The arms are going to come out to the sides. Take an inhale, always allowing the exhales to soften you and relax you and ground you. And then taking the gaze over that front middle finger, you're going to flip that front palm and take the back hand to your thigh or your baby's home, your choice. As you inhale to reverse that warrior, keep that front knee bent and strong. And as you exhale, take that front hand and bring it onto your thigh or onto your baby's home as you reverse. So inhales bring you back, and then the exhales bring you forward. And keep moving like this. Don't worry about being in sync with my movement. I encourage you actually to close the eyes here and just allow yourself to move as if you're floating through a dance. Make sure the feet stay nice and grounded. Feel yourself rooted into the ground. This is so much like birth, so much like pregnancy, is feeling that rooted, that grounding in knowing who we are, and then knowing that you also have space to go with the flow. Especially in these times, giving yourself permission to let go a little bit more and trust in the universe, trust in this process of labor, of pregnancy, and move with ease while still knowing where you stand. Coming back to that warrior two, feeling that spine lengthen. As you inhale, straighten that front leg, bring the feet parallel to one another. Inhale to reach the arms up, and exhale, fold all the way down. Bring the hands onto the blocks or the stool. Inhale as you lengthen the spine forward. Taking that left arm forward, reach, reach, reach. And then as you exhale, release it down. Opposite arm reaches forward, lengthening the spine. And then the exhale drops it down. One more each side, feeling each side rib lengthen. The exhales release the shoulder. Lengthening, lengthening. Strong legs, strong arms. Releasing the hand down. Take that inhale to reach the crown of the head forward. And as you exhale, fold, making sure that the legs have a micro bend in the knee so that you're not just locking in the joints. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward and pause. Bend the knees generously. Bring the hands to the thighs. Roll up one vertebrae at a time till you come all the way to standing, rolling the shoulders back and down. Bring the hands to the hips, taking those right toes in slightly and turning the left toes towards the opposite side, bending that knee generously. Again, finding that nice even weight distribution between both legs, and then from there bringing the arms out to the sides. Taking the gaze over that front middle finger, flip that front palm over, bring the back hand to your thigh or your baby's home, reverse that warrior and reach. Inhaling here, and with that exhale, float that front forearm onto the thigh or onto your baby's home, and moving back and forth like that. Finding this dance, finding an ease with this dance. If you feel comfortable, you can close the eyes and tune in, feel how things feel in the body. Notice if you're holding tension in any parts of the face, can you soften there? Feel the strength through your roots, through the legs, and feel that softness and ease through the upper body. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Feel the arms extend, straightening that front leg. Bring the feet parallel to one another. And this time, bring the heels in, toes out. And as you inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, come all the way down into the squat. So really important to make note, if you are a mom who has placenta previa or a low-lying placenta, or is going to be delivering twins, or your baby is breech, then I would, instead of going this far, I would go only halfway, maybe not even all the way at all. And be very mindful to not be so wide in the feet, right? Otherwise, we're going to stay right here. Take a deep inhale, side out through the mouth. And then we're going to bring the arms out to the sides and press the palms out. And as you inhale, you're going to straighten the legs and bring the palms to cross slightly in front of the face. And then you're going to come back into that squat, the palms press out. And then you're going to come all the way back up, and then the arms are going to crisscross slightly behind the head, but the palms aren't touching. And then exhale, you're going to come back. So just like that, inhaling, crisscrossing the arms slightly in front of the head, exhaling, coming into the squat. Inhale, crisscrossing the arms slightly behind the head, and then coming back into the squat. So we're moving through this a few rounds. Again, if you feel inclined, close the eyes, tune in, feel the strength through the arms. Two more like that. This time, inhale, let the palms kiss overhead, and as you exhale, come back into that squat. Bring the hands onto your baby's home, and gently pulsate up and down. So if you're one of those mamas who I mentioned before, who shouldn't be going so deep, you can bring in the stance a little bit closer together and just stay right here. So it doesn't have to be so extreme, so that we can be mindful and preventative. Otherwise, your stance is going to be a little bit wider, and you're going to let yourself go a little bit lower. And let the heat build, feel the strength in the legs. Keep the spine nice and tall. And then slowly straighten the legs all the way back up. You can bring the feet in, pigeon-toeing them slowly back to center. Take a deep inhale. Through pursed lips like we did before. Release that breath. One more like that. Nice. Shake it out. So now we're going to come back onto the floor. We're going to take our blocks or our stools, and we're going to stack them. And you can come to sit right on top of your blocks. So in my classes, I will always do squats, I will always do Kegels, and I will always do keep-ups, which you will see what those are momentarily. Kegels are incredibly beneficial for pregnancy and postpartum. Note that in pregnancy, relaxin hormone flows through your body and softens all your ligaments and joints, including all the muscles. So by doing these pelvic exercises, we're just maintaining the integrity of the pelvic floor to help us with labor and delivery, and to also help us with recovery postpartum. This part may be a little bit more graphic for some of you, so if that bothers you, I'm just giving you the disclaimer ahead of time. But otherwise, feel free to close the eyes here, and I want you to imagine on your block is a little blueberry, and you're going to use the muscles right where you're touching the block to gently imagine as if you're picking up that blueberry, taking it up the elevator. You're going to pull that blueberry up towards your baby's home, and you're going to take it all the way up to the very top floor of the building, and you're going to pause and squeeze that blueberry there, and then you're gently going to release that blueberry all the way down. So that's our Kegel. The idea of the Kegel is that we really want to minimize the use of our abdominals to bring that blueberry up, and we want to keep thinking about the muscle right in the center. that's pulling up and in, sort of like a little lever. So imagine that those sort of wires that pull an elevator up, that sort of connect right at the very top of the elevator and pull it all the way up, or at least that's how I picture an elevator working. Maybe it works differently, but just thinking of it like that, and just imagining that muscle sort of pulling the elevator all the way up, and then pausing at the top floor, imagining the doors sort of opening and then closing, and then slowly that elevator comes back down, opens to let more people in, and then closes back. So that's the idea. So when we release that blueberry on the block, we're softening that muscle and opening, and then as we collect the blueberry, we're taking it all the way up, pausing at the top, and then slowly coming back down. So take a few moments here to focus on pulling that blueberry all the way up, engaging the muscle at the very top, and then bringing that blueberry all the way down, releasing and softening the muscle at the bottom. Kegels are great also as a preventative for incontinence postpartum, and can also be helpful to prevent organ prolapses. So if you're ever having any issues with incontinence or feeling like something isn't quite right down there, I always encourage my students and my clients to talk to a pelvic floor therapist so that they can help you rebuild that muscle and give you all of the necessary exercises to do so. And being mindful not to just jump back into any hardcore exercising postpartum. Just being mindful and listening to your body. One more like that. Bringing that blueberry all the way up to the penthouse suite. See if you can hold it there for a moment. And then slow and steady, bringing it all the way back down. See if you can really relax the muscle. Nice. We're going to make our way down to where we started from. So if you had a pillow or bolster underneath your sit bone in the beginning, I encourage you to find that as well. Moving into our keep-ups, which in my opinion is one of the most powerful exercises you can do in preparation for labor. And it doesn't matter what your labor is going to look like, a keep-up exercise and having that in the back of your mind during your experience can really benefit the process for you. So we're going to do this keep up is very similar to what we did earlier when we were doing the little squats, but this time we're just going to be focusing on the hands. So we're going to take our hands and we're going to press the palms out and nice and straight. Okay. As we begin the keep up, I want you to remember that you can use any of the tools that we've practiced in today's class, and you can bring in whatever other tools you want to play with to see what works for you. So the palms are going to press out, and as you inhale, the palms are going to cross slightly in front of the face, and as you exhale, the palms are going to press out. And then you're going to bring the palms slightly behind the head, and then bring it back out. And that's going to be the whole keep up. So this particular keep up is really about removing worry from the chest, the lungs, and the heart, and to replace it with love and with optimism. And in this time, I think it's really important for us to find ways to clear out that worry and that fear that seems to constantly be piling up, and replace it with something of more beauty. So love and optimism and positive energy, and just good vibrations. So yeah, Beach Boys. So bring the palms out to the sides, and we're going to go until I say it's time to stop. So take a deep inhale, exhale it out, and then here we go. So slowly going, remembering that you can move at your own pace. You don't have to go at the speed that I'm going. You can go faster, you can go slower, but whatever you do, keep going. Try not to let the arms fall below the shoulders. Try not to let your mind sneak in. So as we keep going and it starts to feel more challenging, that's exactly when your mind is going to sneak in and say, I can't do this anymore. There's no way my arms could possibly keep going. And that's exactly the time that you're going to sink in a little bit deeper. You might close your eyes at that point if you haven't already, and you're going to start to dig into your toolkit. Find ways to help you keep going, because you can do this. You can do hard things. You can do challenging things, and you can trust in yourself that you can do more than you ever imagined. Labor is new and it's unknown, and there are going to be things that are going to scare you, and you have to lean in to the discomfort and trust that you can do it. So just like that, as we're moving here, can you find the tools? Practice things that we've used. Maybe you need to move the neck. Maybe you need to move the hips. But whatever you do, keep going. You're almost there. We're just climbing that mountain, and before you know it, we're going to be climbing down the mountain. Find that strength to dig a little bit deeper. When everything feels like it's on fire, can you trust yourself a little bit more and believe that you can handle even this much fire? Find that breath. Let out sound. Oh, just like that. No fear. This is your chance to practice. We're almost there. Take another inhale. Reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands all the way through to your heart center. Take a deep inhale. Let it go. Rest your hands on your baby's home. Just take a moment to honor your strength, honor your beauty, and acknowledging that you might just be stronger than you thought. Take a deep inhale here, loud sigh out the mouth, and shake it out. Just shake it out. Any tension, any thoughts that were in your head of, why couldn't I do this? If you maybe weren't able to keep going, don't worry about it. This is all part of the practice, right? We're just practicing and getting to know our body, getting to know what works and what doesn't work. And here, going to lean into the hands. Feel the heart lift up, so you feel a little stretch in the shoulders. Take that right ankle over the left leg. Press that knee open. Let the breath soften, the shoulders down. Keep a flex in that right foot just to protect the knee joint. And gently release the ankle, windshield wiper the knees back and forth, switching sides. Taking that left ankle over the thigh, pressing that knee open, lifting through the heart. Keeping the jaw soft. And releasing the ankle, windshield wipering the knees back and forth. And now we're going to set up for our Shavasana. So, mamas, when you're pregnant, I never recommend laying flat on your back, especially because you have that vena cava vein that flows, that's in the back of your spine, and we really just want to make sure that you're getting enough oxygen for yourself and your baby, and really, we just don't want any shortness of breath, so just being mindful of that. So I recommend that if you have your blanket, have your pillow, the easiest thing to do at home if you don't have a bolster is to just lay on your side. You can take the blanket, place it between the knees, place the pillow down, let yourself rest here. In fact, if you fall asleep, maybe even let yourself take a little nap. And just close the eyes. You can bring the arm onto the hip, or if it feels comfortable to lengthen it, you can let it drop up and over the ear. And give yourself a few moments here with the eyes closed. Staying where you are, take a moment to remember this bubble that you've created around yourself, this buffer. And remind yourself that it's there for you whenever you need it. You can use it at any time. There is no correct way to use it. All I encourage you is to use it anytime that you feel overwhelmed, that you feel as if fear might be taking over, anxiety might be spreading. Just allow yourself to close the eyes and say, all right, bubble, let's grow. Let's expand all the way around me. Protect me from any negative words, any fearful thoughts. Allow only positive energy and light into my space. Feel free to stay where you are, or if you'd like, make sure that you gently press into your palm to come up into a seated position. You can place your hands either in your baby's home or bringing the palms together. And taking a deep inhale, long exhale. As I say, Namaste, the soul within me greets, honors, and sees the souls within you. Have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening. Namaste.